Just want what you love. You should cut off all distraction. It's all on you now. And just give me some reaction. Just want what you love.
It's another beautiful Sunday afternoon. This is Rubbin Minds. Welcome. My name is Ebuka Obiuchi, and great to have you here at the start of another week. The last week was probably one of the most eventful weeks in the lives of many Nigerians. So much happened with the president and the presidency and the traveling and comments made and decisions taken, and it's been very, very hard to follow all of that. But as usual, we're going to be breaking or trying to break all of that down as we look back at the week that was. And I have you with me, Niger Delta. Thanks for being here today.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, viewers. Thanks. Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Like I said, it's been a very, very interesting week.
Extremely
eventful. Very. From the fuel, some call it deregulation, some call it increase, to the fantastically interesting comments by the British Prime Minister, and so many other things that's happened. Yeah. But let's start. We're going to go in depth much later on the show with some other guests about the fuel price change. But I want to talk to you about that. What were your thoughts on it?
I already, from one of the press briefings that President Buhari had, I think it was towards the end of last year, he said something about subsidy, that by some time, by the middle of this year, there'll be nothing like subsidy. So already I had prepared my mind that subsidy was going to be removed, and I wanted it to go. But when it came to the beginning of this year, January or so, they said, oh, no more subsidy payments, and the price went to 86 Naira 50 kobo, and I was surprised. How can the price go that way when you remove subsidy? But they said it was the right thing. And when it came to like March or so, when crude oil prices started rising, they now said, oh, the price of petrol is going to go up, so some of the money they saved, it was not necessary. That's my own thinking, that they should have just let it go up or down. They've removed subsidy. So it's the backward, forward, and everything. That's what I'm worried about. But in terms of removing subsidy, deregulation, I'm in support of it, and I hope it works.
Okay, like I said, we're going to be talking about it much later in the show, so I just wanted to get your thoughts on that. But let's move on now to the anti-corruption or anti-corruption conference that held in the United Kingdom, and we did hear the comments of the British Prime Minister, David Cameron, where he was talking to the Queen and mentioned Nigeria and Afghanistan as two fantastically corrupt countries, in his opinion. And it didn't go down well with a lot of Nigerians, and most people had their thoughts and comments were made, and it looks like it's still ongoing. But Mr. President he agreed on one side, and on the other end, he did say that he wasn't here for side talks and just wanted his money back. What is your thought on all of that happened?
You see, the British, they are very good at what they do. There is money to be returned. They've changed their mind or something. They don't want to return the money. And if I were Buhari, and some of the comments I made when I watched the video, I said I'll pack my things first thing in the morning and leave.
So you don't think he should have stayed?
I felt at the moment when it happened, I felt he should have left. But that is what they wanted. That scene you see there, it was not something that just happened. It was properly scripted. It was made to hit us and see the reaction.
Wait, you're saying you think
it was arranged.
David Cameron knew the cameras and the microphones were on?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes, they do this a lot. You know, when Queen Elizabeth came to Nigeria, I think it was during the time of Obasanjo, you know, in Abuja, they had to set up a full village. They set up a village with actors and everybody, and the Queen went there like she was visiting one village near the outskirts of Abuja. They are good at their propaganda. And when I saw it initially, I was very angry. I was like, Buhari should leave. But the guy, maybe he sat down and thought about it. What's happening? What do these people want? And he said, I'm not leaving. And I don't even care about your statements. I came for the money, and I'm getting it. You know, so I support what he did.
Do you think David Cameron should have apologized then?
Really, like Buhari said, we are not here for apology. Monies we are taking, you allowed our money. It was our fault that the money was taken from here. It's your own fault that you allowed them. Then you come and tell us we are fantastic corrupt. Oga, let's have our money and let's go. You know, let's forget about, I don't want your apology. I came for this and that's what I'm going to get. So He can keep his
Well, President Buhari eventually, I mean, he was, I think after the conference, he was walking and he got asked by a reporter. And then he also got asked by Christian Amanpour as well. And he did say that, yes, Nigeria is fantastically corrupt, and that is, David Cameron is speaking facts pretty much. Were you happy with that?
I wasn't really pleased with it, but I knew what he was trying to do. He didn't want to cause any conflict, because what happens is, let's say what happens between Israel and Palestine. They reach an agreement, oh, we are going to give you this land and you go and use the land and let everybody go and do their business. Then at one point they say, oh, but you have to give us that tree there. And they know that that tree is the tree that Prophet Muhammad prayed under when he was, and those guys say, no, we can't give you that tree. They say, agreement is over, we are not giving you any land. Then it takes another 10 years. So it's just let it go. He just let it go, and, you know, we agree. Just give us our money and let's go.
Interesting. We do need our money back. Hopefully it does come back. I don't know. Exactly. I don't know that it was a plan or a strategy or propaganda on its own. But
I understand what they do.
We'll move on from that now and move on to, of course, one of the things that's bordering on security or the lack of it now. There's a Biafra thing, of course, that's been brewing, but that has sort of simmered down a bit, I think. Yeah. The Northeast, of course, is still not completely safe. Niger Delta Avengers have now come into the mix. We also have the Fulani herdsmen thing going on. Mr. President isn't saying too much, but we did hear him say something along the lines of the fact that these are not herdsmen doing this thing, that these are Libyans who are in the country or something like that.
Yes. I think there's something about the whole herdsman farmer issue. It's not very straight. Like 2 weeks ago, I was supposed to be on a program and talk about it, but I said no, I won't be able to talk about it because I don't have adequate information. And the more we speak about it, and the more these people doing these things see that we are not informed, we don't know who they are, the more they will attack. You understand? So it's better for us to just sit back, get proper investigations.
But are you happy with the way the presidency is handling everything?
I think work is going on in terms of investigation. Like I said, personally, there are statements I don't want to make, because immediately these people know that we are not yet onto them, they will do more damage. So if people are going to speak about it, let them be very sure. Like when people started saying it was Fulani herdsmen, you understand? Once you are misinformed about someone creating that kind of damage, there's no reason why they would do that. The route that the Fulanis take virtually every year is the same. You know, I listened to an interview, it was in Hausa. I got it from BBC Hausa. My Hausa is not that good, but I understood. So I gave it to someone else and he listened to it and he told me that this is what the guy is saying. The guy said, if he tells us that Fulani herdsmen don't fight with people or don't kill people and get killed themselves, is a lie. That these things happen because of some, you know, little conflict or difference in opinion, but they will not go like to maybe 100 Fulani herdsmen without any cattle or anything, just arms, and go to a village and massacre people. What's the end to that?
But that aside, there's no doubt in the fact that confrontations are happening, farmland is being destroyed, and people are angry, which is going to, of course, fuel violence.
Exactly, but I think there are some outsiders. The Fulani herdsmen themselves, they've complained to government. There are people they've been calling cattle rustlers. I was very alarmed some months ago when Kano State government said they're going to give amnesty to some people they call cattle rustlers. It's a very serious crime these people are committing. Fulani herdsmen or herdsmen are going with their cattle, and some people just come, they've not worked, they've not raised a cow in their life before. They just take their AK-47s, raid them, shoot who they can shoot, and take the cattle. Now, I've been trying to explain to people that now those people that rustle cattle, and they've taken like maybe 100 cows, how do you think they will behave when they get to farmlands or when they get to villages? You know, so we have to really be very investigative. We have to think properly before we just jump and say, oh, it's Yoruba herdsmen or it's Fulani, you know, traders. We have to be very careful, and we have to let the people whose work it is decide what's happening.
But the people who were attacked are saying these things.
It's easy. It's easy for you to be convinced that if you see someone passing this Channels TV road and is walking with like in the middle of like 50 cows, and he's dressed in a certain way, what would you assume? Who would you say he was? You wouldn't call him an Igbo trader. You understand? So it depends on what you see and your subjective taking on that. So I think we have to look at it properly. We have to
with the history now of not necessarily this government in particular, but governments in Nigeria and our attitude to security or the lack of it, and investigation and how we never necessarily get to hear where it ends. Where should people put their faith in now?
I think we should still we still have to look to the government. We still have to look to them and at least put pressure on them to do something. I heard some government officials say things like, oh, we have to look into the history. That's not what it is. You have to get these people. And the Enugu State Commissioner of Police, then he said they were able to repel the attackers to the point where the attackers were not able to enter. That's not what you are there for. You're supposed to make sure you go after these people, get them and bring them to book. It's not enough. It's been happening in Nigeria. Crimes will happen, and if the president doesn't specifically say, I want this case investigated, the police will just go and sit down. So we have to put pressure on our government now and say, these issues, you must resolve them and give us the result. Get the people that did it, and punish them.
What about the Niger Delta Avengers? Very interesting.
Those guys. I don't know. Maybe they watch.
But they have completely, affected the economy, as it were. Now we're hearing explosions almost by the day now.
I feel it's another thing that the government, in a way, they caused this thing. This Niger Delta thing is just a distraction. There are people who made money from NIMASA and other organizations in the Niger Delta. And I feel that the president shouldn't have gone after them immediately he entered office. He should have taken his time, built our security agencies, strengthened the military, even built prisons that he's going to put the people he's trying right now. But he didn't do that. He just went straight for some people, and those people are causing havoc. He said someone should be arrested, or they said someone should be arrested, and the person, he should appear in court, Tompolo. The guy said he doesn't believe in the justice system, and they declared him wanted. They've not still gotten the guy. And we don't know if people like this are trying to destabilize the system, because
Tompolo himself has spoken up against
his word is not enough. He should come out then. I saw the letter where they wrote, the so-called Avengers wrote and said this is why they are angry. You are angry at Tompolo, then you go and blow up Chevron's facility. How? As in, what is Tompolo?
Why is it so hard in our history to find criminals?
Our system has really been very degraded. It got to a point where if the police wants to hire now someone in the presidency, maybe as it used to be before, the wife of the president would just say, I have a list of 500 names that will be there. You don't know these 500 people. Some people maybe from her local government or somewhere, next thing they're in the police. SSS, it got as bad as SSS. They just give them a list of their guys and they're in there. And recently we saw about the CBN too. People in top places are actually...
So we have, and this obviously can't be fixed. Can be fixed in one day.
Yeah, it affects our system, and we refuse to build anything. We don't take anything seriously. So I think we have to start changing our system, recruiting the right people, putting in technology.
Just basically doing things right. Before we go on, just very quickly, almost on a funny note or interesting note, okay. Dr. Doyin Okupe, we did see when she prostrates to the former president Obasanjo. It was quite a moment, wasn't it? Very quickly.
Doyin, now my boy. Doyin Okupe, he did a lot of things very wrong. I don't know what happened to him, I think he was so sure that nothing could happen to the government he was working, and he went overboard, insulting Nigerians, attacking people for no good reason, journalists, politicians, his former bosses. He just went, I don't know, something is wrong with the guy. Now, unfortunately for him, the way we know Obasanjo, you don't offend him at all, because you are just begging the wind. Obasanjo does not forgive anybody. He does not.
Okay.
It's unfortunate. This man has children. I don't know what they are thinking right now with their dad lying down, spineless but he's wasting his time. When Obasanjo is ready to deal with him, he would. And I'm sure some things have been found about him. He's in trouble. He's getting into trouble. That's why he's doing. If not, he won't come out like this. So. Okay.
Thank you very much, Najib, for being here today, for your very interesting opinions and everything. And we hope you come back when next we call you.
Yes, definitely, I will.
We'll take a break now and be right back with more. Please stay with us.
All right.